So you want to know the best weapons in Apex Legends Season 1, huh? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be covering from the best to the worst, from the new, like the Havoc, and the nerfed, the Peackeeper and the Wingman, and see where they all stack up against one another in Apex Legends. Plus, this is one of the more important videos because we get a chance to take a look at what we did last time and how these guns now fare in the environment of Apex today, especially since Octane is here. Will anything change? Let's talk about it right now. First off, going into the R301, this is your bread and butter assault rifle. This is the light assault rifle. It does 18 damage per body shot. It's got a mag size of 18. It does 14 damage per body shot, mag size of 18, and it's got a 28 headshot. The biggest thing to know about this is it's just so consistent. It's good from range, it's good up close, and it's with light ammo, which is probably the most prevalent ammo in the game. It's your bread and butter. You want to go for this. It has a single fire. I'll show you that in a second. But because last video I didn't take a look at the Scout, I want to touch on that very, very quickly. The Scout is a very cool sniper rifle in the light ammo category. We'll be looking at heavy, energy, and shotguns, and of course the special weapons towards the end of this video. But first, taking a look at light, the G7 Scout feels like a lot of other weapons, doesn't feel like a lot of other weapons, and to me that's what makes it cool and fun to use. It's got a mag size of 10, it hits for 30, which is quite a bit into the body, and 60 for a headshot, so it's got that 2 times headshot bonus. You can upgrade it with 4 attachments, a barrel, an extended mag. You can also get a sight onto it, and you can have a sniper stock, because it does fare well from long range. But where I found this gun to be actually much better is up close and early. It's a really nice weapon to pick up and hip fire from, as you saw there, so definitely check out the G7 Scout. It's a pretty decent weapon. I'd say it's a mid-tier weapon, guaranteed. Now, the Alternator is one of the better weapons, in my opinion, in the light ammo category, for many reasons. One, it's one of the rare kind of weapons that feels underwhelming, but also takes 4 additional attachments. This is even more than the flatline in the heavy ammo category, and though it's light and it feels like, is this really a thing? It's a submachine gun. It can do some work. It's got about 200 damage or so per clip, per magazine, excuse me, with a 16 mag size. Body shots do 13, and it's got like a 19 headshot bonus. But again, one of the best things about this weapon is it's very easy to find. Not the best from range like the R301. It loses a little bit of its punch if you're not mid-range to close range, but early game, it's a great weapon to pick up because you can always upgrade it. You could use those barrel stabilizers you might find, use those stocks. It will increase in its effectiveness quite heavily. Now, here is one of the, if not considered absolutely the best submachine gun at base. It is in the light ammo category. It is the R99. This puppy just unloads so many bullets, and we found over the course of playing Apex Legends that this is probably, alongside the R301, your go-to light ammo submachine gun, assault rifle, light machine gun, choices that will get you the most bang for your buck. The thing about the R301, the R99, excuse me, is that it is essentially a bullet missing simulator. It allows you to miss every single shot no matter what, because that's just kind of the way this weapon works. It unloads extremely fast, 12 damage per body, 18 headshot, 18 mag size, and again, 4 attachments. So this thing, when you get your attachments, scales probably better than almost any of the other guns because it's so fast, it's so bursty. That's so good in a battle royale we've seen. And of course, if you're able to just land your entire clip, someone's not going to know what hit them. It's going to feel like you're a hacker. And yeah, there are hackers there, but it's definitely going to feel that way. Moving on into the R301, back towards the single fire. One of the things we didn't touch on in that last video I made was the alternate fire. If you press B on your weapon, and that's just for PC, I'm sure there's another button for Xbox, PS4, I don't know what that is, you can change your weapon fire. So instead of it being automatic or semi-automatic, it will be able to instead of being automatic, you can actually, fire it semi-auto essentially by left-clicking on your mouse. It's very, very potent, and the R301, despite having a very strong single fire, most of the time is always going to be used on auto. So just keep that in mind. There's another gun that is probably better on single fire, but that's in the heavy category. We'll talk about that in a second. Here's your random pistol that you find that you hate the world for giving you. It's the P2020. I always say that people who charge in with a P2020 have a P2020 and a dream, but absolutely no way of getting out alive. Unfortunately, unfortunately, unless you are dizzy, unless you're shroud and hitting headshots, which can actually make a big difference for this weapon, goes up to 18 damage from the base 12, it is just not the weapon you want. Ditch this as soon as possible. Even Respawn have said that we want to keep some of these guns bad in order to help the feeling of that, hey, I found a better gun. And that gun that you should trade it out for is usually the RE45. Now, this is an RE45 auto pistol, still in the light ammo category, and it has a mag size of 15, so it's about 5 more than the P2020. The body damage is 11, the headshots are 16, so a little bit less damage overall, but the rate of fire is what really kicks this thing over into overgear. When you're in a really fast kind of, oh, I don't know what's happening, it's a scramble early game, having this to just blow through your opponent's health, maybe break their shields very quickly, it could be detrimental to that person's confidence in the fight. They're probably going to back off. You'll be on the offensive. Be wary though, it does waste a lot of bullets. Now, of course, moving on into the heavy ammo, let's drop the slide ammo and let's talk about the flatline. This is an underrated weapon, although it is not a great weapon when you start comparing it to the top tier weapons. I think this is a weapon that unfortunately doesn't get enough play, but it's got some utility to it, so I'd like to see people checking it out a little more. One of the things that makes it hard to justify this is because there are many other options in the heavy ammo category that are just significantly better, and even in the light ammo category that serve the same role of a fast firing kind of assault rifle, light machine gun kind of weapon. It's just not going to compete with them at the moment, but it's got decent damage, and one of the better things about the flatline is the 2x headshot bonus. It goes from 16 to 32, and when you're able to hit those headshots, it's pretty nice. Now, it has a single fire as well, so if you want to become the single fire flatline guy or girl, feel free. It's not recommended, but check it out. I know that there are a lot of people who swear by it. I am not a flatline guy. I've seen this gun get very little play in my experience in Apex Legends over the last month and a half since release, so I would just say, with a grain of salt, not the best, but you may enjoy it yourself. It's really not a top tier weapon, but it can do some work. The Hemlock, however, is one of those weapons that has steadily and consistently proven itself to be effective. As you can see, it's a 3-shot burst assault rifle. And what that does is it allows you to just have so much killing potential in a magazine. It's got 18 for the mag size. Body shots are 18, but it's got that 2x headshot bonus, which is such a great thing about these heavy ammo weapons. That's really one of the differences in some of these heavy ammo weapons or these assault rifles, light machine guns. Most of them have basically these 2x headshot bonus. Now, one of the reasons that's important is because when you're hitting for 36, but you have the control of the single fire, you become so potent. Now, it adds a little bit of a degree of difficulty because obviously you cannot all be the best aimers in the world. Even if you're great, you're going to not be able to just spray and pray as much. This is very much about your accuracy, but if you work on your accuracy, you will be a monster. This gun is basically just one of the best weapons in the game. I love the versatility of it. I love the burst. You could hit fire the burst as well, as you've seen, and it ranks as one of the best weapons in all of Apex Legends for me, so check that one out. Make sure you pick it up when you run by it. Now, the Prowler, this is a 5-burst weapon, and the thing about the Prowler as a submachine gun is it is a unique style of play. You know, the Hemlock is something you'll play a lot. The Prowler shows up, it's 5 bursts instead of 3, so you have to get used to that. It's a very simple kind of weapon to control. It's not that hard, but I will say that it doesn't have that 2x headshot bonus. It's only got a 21 headshot versus a 14 body shot as far as damage. One of the benefits, you do have 4 upgradable attachment slots, and you also do have the select fire. Now, the select fire, when you pick that up, something that will be used for the Havoc, I can't show it here in this training mode, but it turns this into full auto, and then this puppy becomes one of the best weapons in the game. So if you find that Prowler and you have a select fire, definitely go ahead and give it some love. You will enjoy it. I've got plenty of videos using it as well, so make sure to check that out. Now, moving on to one of the more fun and more loved DMRs in the game, it is the Longbow. Now, the Longbow is it's basically a sniper rifle in all intents and purposes of the word, but it has a 5 magazine size. It's got a 55 body shot damage and, of course, 110 for the headshots. What I've found in this is that snipers are not meta as much as I would have hoped in Apex Legends because they're so fun. I love them, but you have to be able to finish people off, especially with all the healing and things like that. It's really, really fun, but again, it's more of a, I have a team and I know someone's going to be aggressive, well, I can get them down. You could hip fire it, but it's not that recommended. Now, moving on into the M600 Spitfire. fire. Did I say that right? I think I did. I think it's the M600. Yeah. Now, this is a light machine gun that feels anything but light. It is a heavy ammo beast. This thing is the team killer, the team wiper, the destroyer of worlds, and it is so much damage. You are going to have a blast using it. 2 times headshot bonus as well, and it rarely rivals the Wingman, as you can see here, as far as the go-to weapons in the heavy ammo category. That 2 times bonus takes special effect with the Wingman, who was nerfed, and so will drop away. Instead of a must-pick best weapon in the game, it's probably dropped to about A+ tier weapon. Still absolutely one of the best you can get, but honestly, I find myself taking a Spitfire sometimes more so than the Wingman, even though the Wingman is so deadly if you hit all of your shots. That's a big caveat though, because it is not easy. For whatever reason, some people just get the Wingman, some people don't. I have my days where I get it. I have my days where I do not. But this is that weapon that Shroud refused to use because it was so good. Dizzy used all the time because it was so good and kind of started his legendary career in Apex Legends. So take it with a grain of salt when I'm not recommending it for everybody. It could be the best weapon for you. Even with the nerf, I would say that it brought it more into line, but it still does exactly what it does. And the fact that when you get an extended mag, this clip size goes from 6 to 12 means that you can essentially team wipe, without having to reload. It is extremely potent. It's valuable and effective from long range. So I would definitely consider rocking that Wingman. It is still in a very good spot, maybe falling off a little bit, but as far as weapon comparisons, it's right up there with a Spitfire for the top 2 weapons in the heavy ammo category. Now, the triple take is a part of the energy ammo, and this is where we get our new weapon that has been released in Season 1 and more weapons to come. The Havoc will be mentioned in just a second, but the triple take is a sniper that people have started to realize could be used as more of a shotgun. Now, I know a lot of people will initially see the scope, the design of this weapon, and just think, oh yeah, I gotta hit these headshots, 138 damage per full headshot, by the way, which is pretty nice, but it shoots in little bullets of 3, so it's going to be hard to contain that. One of the reasons the shotgun approach works is because you can get up close and guarantee that you're hitting all of the 3 shots in the triple take. Get it? That's the name, and we found it to be very, very important. And even in my last video talking about Octane, I have a clip in there where I'm using it as a shotgun, and it's really the most effective thing. So if you're up close, do not be afraid to use this. One of the things I like about it too is it's very frugal with the ammunition for energy ammo, although that was buffed in this last patch, which is going to change my rating of the Devotion. Now, I talked about the Devotion last time being one of those weapons that, hey man, if you get the right thing, use it. It is going to be the bomb. But if you don't have enough energy ammo, if you blah, 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 you don't have a turbocharger, it's not going to work. I think that's all out of the wind now. It's one of the best weapons, if not with a turbocharger, the best weapon in the game. The biggest significant hampering of it was the energy ammo, but now that that's been increased across the map due to the Havoc and the nature of energy weapons not being used very much, this is a bad boy. It's got a mag size of 44, runs through that thing so quickly, and the body damage is 17, headshots are 34. As you can see, if you're hip firing, you got to get up real close, otherwise that thing is not going to do the work that you're expecting. But when you are close and you have a turbocharger, things are going to be crazy. Hop-ups, turbocharger select fire, obviously precision choke, things like that. That's what I'm going to be describing. If you don't know what that is, there are a lot of good videos out there that explain the hop-ups. I kind of wanted to do one about all the attachments. Let me know if you guys want to see that and my thoughts on all the attachments in the comments section below, and what guns you are feeling, and of course, how you feel about the Havoc. Now, the Havoc I cannot rank above the Devotion, but I think as far as utility across all areas of the game, whether it's mid-game when you land, early game when you land, mid-game when you're having those fights, maybe you got tier 2 armor, and late game when you've got those tier 3s, everyone's fully kitted, I think the Havoc scales really nicely. Now, the interesting thing about the Havoc is that it also has a select fire, which is still not very strong. It's a hit scan select fire, and that's one of the better things about it. It's going to be usable in situations like this. But the problem is it takes another hop up, which is the turbocharger. The turbocharger, just like the Devotion, can be used on the Havoc as well, and it makes those early shots just come out that much faster. And for me, that is the way you want to go with the Havoc. With a turbocharger, it's much more frugal than the Devotion on using the energy ammo. If you use your select fire and your hit scan, it will take 5 ammo per shot. But essentially, with a turbocharger, the Havoc is a very consistent weapon, and may not have the upside of a Devotion, but it's going to be a lot safer. It's kind of more like, let's invest into the safer stocks, the more consistent stocks. Let's invest in Ford or something like that, rather than trying to go for this new startup business, right? So that's one of the ways I would compare it. But it is a very good weapon. I like the way it was introduced. I'd say it's probably like an A- weapon, right under the Wingman as far as, in that category of weapons. And not quite there, but still very, very good and can be utilized. The EVA 8. Last time I was talking about this weapon being not as good as the Peacekeeper, and I will still say that I think this weapon has some challenges. One of the things you'll notice is that kick right there. Every time I hit it, there's a kick of your screen. Now, this is an animation. This is something that adds an effect, adds a feel, but it also, for me, makes it a little bit harder to hit every shot. This is full auto. This is basically a full auto shotgun, and what that means is that you're going to do a lot of damage very quickly if you can hit it. If you can't, though, you're going to feel very helpless and like a really bad player. So you kind of weigh the cost and the benefit analysis of that one. But overall, there were moments in this season where I thought, this is better than the Peacekeeper, honestly. And with the Peacekeeper nerf, I have to wonder, did it truly overtake it? Still, in my opinion, the benefit of the Peacekeeper when you are running a shotgun is so high that it does still outweigh the EVA 8 early game. Late game, if you learn how to hit your shots, I would say the EVA 8 does become better than the Peacekeeper. Of course, with no precision choke, I think that's true. With a precision choke, the Peacekeeper still edges out the EVA 8 as probably the best shotgun in the game and one of the better guns in the game, and it's just got that mystique about it. The one-shot potential on this with 110 damage and, of course, 165 if you hit the headshot, it's just so deadly. So I would not uproot it yet from the top shotgun spot, although it did have its moments, although it did get nerfed. Notice the shotgun bolt attachment will no longer allow you to kind of reload and refire your weapon as fast. It's just not going to have the same impact as it did before, but it is still pretty potent, and that's what we all pick those shotguns up for, right? To get that one tap and send them down packing. Now, the last shotgun we're going to talk about is the Mozambique. This weapon has been the Mozambiques, the Mozambique, for the beginning of time. This is a weapon that not many people understood, especially compared against the EVA 8 and the Peacekeeper, and that's still where it sits. However, people have started to learn a little bit about how to get some headshots, how to aim down sights with it, maybe to hip fire a little bit, line up your target, then immediately aim down sights and find some damage. It's truly not useless, but it is truly not better than your other shotgun options. The only reason I'd take it over an EVA 8 is if you're just not feeling the auto rhythm today, if you're just like, oh, missing all my EVA 8 shots, the Mozambique is, existing. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about it. It's really not that great of a gun. I would caution newer players to avoid that at all costs and try to find any other shotgun. It will be better. Taking a look at some of the big boy weapons. You know what I'm talking about, that Kraber. Now, somebody told me last video that this is actually illegal. This is against the rules of war, the rules of engagement to be used. And I can see why. Not only does this thing one-shot you if you don't have full armor, it one-shots you even if you do have full tier 3 or tier 4 armor, which is 200 health. Essentially, it gets a 250. I mean, that's just on top. Plus, if you have that extra helmet, obviously it's going to shoot through, and it will be mitigated as far as the damage, but I think this should still one-shot you, which is extremely potent for a weapon. Notice with the legendary weapons, I'm now at 1 ammo. That's what happens when you grab these type of gold weapons from a supply drop, not from lifelines, but from one in the game. The only way to basically get more ammo is to find another one. This comes with its own ammo. You cannot use shotgun shells for the Mastiff. You can't use heavy ammo or something like that for the Kraber. Now, this is one of the best shotguns, and this is pretty much the replace your shotgun gun. I mean, this is pretty much replace any gun. Mastiff is so good. It's got the range component, although the spread is quite wide here. There are a lot of times where I've actually had fights where from this range, I've been able to poke someone very consistently. I'm not going to be getting 144. That's more abnormal, and because the sizes of the hitboxes of these training dummies are really big, but honestly, the Mastiff from range can be super effective. Now, that's obviously one of the better weapons as well as the Kraber. Pick them up if you can. Obviously, the Spitfire, the Wingman, even the Hemlock are some of my favorites. R301, R99, those are all my top tier weapons, and everything else falls a little bit below, and the Havoc introduces itself right below that as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this. Make sure to comment down below what you think, and as always, leave a like if you enjoy the video, and subscribe to stay tuned for more. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.